Hello, I'm Coach Dan Willms.
And I'm Coach Myrna Young.
We're very happy to be here again. And today it's a very special subject because we are talking about goals. How to set goals for life.
Well, the reason that goals are so important is because a goal is like a seed that's planted in your mind. And if you have that goal, you can call it a seed, you can call it a desire, but whatever it is you want to call it, once you imagine it first in your mind, it's like planting. So when you plant it, then basically you are saying that in sometime in the future, this is where I want to be. So what I want to talk to you about is some of the steps in order to realize that goal. You know, we're now at the beginning of 2017, and 50% or more of you set New Year's resolutions. But statistics show that maybe less than 10% of you would actually realize those goals at the end of 2017, because you start off hot, but then you don't have the staying power to stay it through. So there's certain steps that you have to go through in order for your goal to be manifested, right?
It is interesting because when you talk about the statistics, they show that only 5% of people in America have clear goals and a plan on how they will achieve those goals. Only 5%.
Yes. And that is why we as a people don't ever get to where we want to go. That is why I just came back from a financial workshop on the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And they're talking about 95% of the population are employees or small business owners or self-employed. Only 5% of the population have their own business or investors. And on that side of the quadrant is the only way that you can actually live the life that you want. As you can see your dates, we are filming right now in a multi-million-dollar home on the water, right? That person that lives in this home is not self-employed or is not getting a paycheck. Because when you're getting a paycheck or you're self-employed and you're not over on the other side as an investor or a business owner, there's no way that you can have champagne and caviar lifestyle.
Unless you have a huge paycheck, which hardly ever doesn't happen that way.
The CEO of Amazon or something like that, right? But I'm sure if you're watching us right now, you're not one of those. So
let me ask you, Myrna, why do you think it's so difficult for people to set goals? I don't think it's difficult to set goals. The problem is to follow through.
Right.
Why do you think it's so difficult?
Because life happens. Life happens. And
it's not what I wasn't expecting to hear that.
You wasn't expecting that. But yeah, because what happens is that you set a goal that say, okay, 1, you want to start your own business, right? 2, you want to have a degree, right? 3, you want to have
goals.
Right, exactly. 3, you want to live in a nice home. You either want to be a homeowner or you want to upgrade from where you are right now. 4, you want to travel the world. Those are all standard goals.
No, those are monster goals. Right. I was talking about like little goals.
No, you gotta get big. We're talking big here. We're talking dreaming big. We're not talking, to make an extra $10,000 a year on your paycheck. That's still a goal. But, we're talking about setting big goals. And what happens with those big goals is that life happens, right? You plant the goal in your head, but you either tell somebody about it and somebody knocks it down saying, well, you're not qualified, you're never going to do that because you're looking at your past. Or that's one of the first things. You get somebody to uproot that seed, somebody that knocks you down, and then you don't go for that goal anymore. Or situations happen. Situation could be, I'm working 12 hours a day. How exactly am I going to go to school, right? I forgot the one about losing weight, right? There's all
Everybody wants to lose weight, not me though.
I know.
Maybe a little love handles would be nice.
I'm preaching to the choir. I do what I need to do to lose the weight. It just doesn't come off. I exercise almost every day.
After some time, it just doesn't go back.
I know. But the point is, you've got to do the activity. So there's one of the first things I want to say when you set a goal is that you need to write it down.
Mm-hmm.
You need to write it down. You need to give it form, right? Once you've given it form, you've got to speak it, right? Which is where the coaching environment is so powerful.
Yeah.
Because every time that you come into a coaching conversation, we're not only talking about the big goal, right? But we're talking about the goal of the particular segment, right? What you want to accomplish at the end of our conversation, right? So each time you come into the coaching conversation, you're moving yourself closer to the goal. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give the big analogy. And the big analogy is we're in Florida, right? And you want to get to California, right?
Okay.
So that's our goal, correct? And what happens is that MapQuest is going to send you through.
I'm sorry to say, people don't use MapQuest anymore.
Navigator, right? Does that matter?
They use Waze.
Waze.
You don't use Waze?
No.
Honey, come on. It's the best in the world, but keep going.
Right.
I want added this.
Some kind of GPS navigation system. Is that better?
People don't use MapQuest anymore. It's okay.
Right. So the GPS navigation system is going to send you through all these cities and counties and roads and highways and things like that, right? So that's probably like a week's trip. So if you say, I want to get to California in the time in a week or 2 weeks or whatever, right? Which means you're going to linger less at these stops, right? But if you don't have a time frame to get there, you're going to stop in all these different places. You might not even end up going there because you might stop and decide, oh, you like this city, why go to California? So that's what happens with a goal. If you don't make that little trip every single day, so the GPS navigation system says, we're going to stop in New Mexico or something for the night, right? You get up, and then the next day you continue on your trip. But what happens with us is that we stop someplace and we never continue on the destination. So,
yes, but I was listening to you, and I also thinking you're talking about big goals. I believe that we cannot. It's very difficult to set big goals and go for them if we don't learn how to set small goals.
Okay.
I mean, because I believe setting goals and achieving those goals is like exercising. You start small. You start practicing. Okay, I'm gonna do a goal. For example, it will be going to the gym 3 times a week. It's a small goal.
Right.
Then you develop a pattern. You develop a behavior, because going after your goals is about behavior.
Right.
It's about watching your behavior and making sure you do that. So, for example, and I think it's also it's a mindset.
Right.
And if I learn how to work with smaller goals and I become really good at it, suddenly I can set big goals, and I will have the mindset for setting goals and achieving those goals. I see that with myself. For example, I wanted to make my workbook. I wanted to finish my workbook for my positive change workshop. But that was the big goal, because it was like $15,000 and plus $10,000 editing, and it was a fortune. But before that, I decided that the smaller goals would be, after each workshop, I would get a feedback from some people and get from them how they were liking my material. And from that feedback, I would create my final material. And I saw that like the smaller goals and big goals. And by the time I was ready to do my workbook, which was a big goal because it cost me $25,000, it was so easy.
Right. But that's what you're saying supports my comment that you have to do something every day or every month or
Yes, I
whatever.
understand. Between the
towards that.
cities, yeah.
Right, exactly. So you know that you want to get to California, or you know that you want to produce something that's going to cost you $25,000, right? So you start off by doing, the small things, one workshop at a time, and then to go into a big one. But you have to continue to be making steps. Now I have a goal. We are doing this because we want to have our own talk show.
Exactly.
That's
so
my big goal.
This is our short version.
That's my big goal. But what am I doing? We are doing our YouTube and Facebook videos in order to practice, in order to achieve the skill.
Yeah.
But we're still looking at that big goal. One of my personal goals is to see someplace new every year, right? And for a long time, I was traveling the Caribbean and different places. But then I set the goal that I want to travel to Europe. And it's been happening. I'm going to Italy in about a couple of months. So that is my goal. And my goal is that I know that there's certain things that I have to do as far as money-wise, whether it's saving for your retirement or saving for something that you want. You're putting away a little bit every time. It's the same thing. You're working towards saving $10,000 per se, but you're working by putting away $50 every week. So it's the same process of steps towards that goal, but you always have to keep the goal in mind. And as soon as you say, it's too big, it's too difficult, it's too long, it's never going to happen, then you're never going to get to that goal.
The moment you say it's never going to happen, you are right. It will never happen because you are already saying that.
Yes. It will never happen. So first step is to write it down, make it plain. Second one, speak it into the atmosphere. And when you speak it, something happens. I don't know the dynamics of it, but I will tell you that imprinting is something that I'm working on right now, and it is...
What do you mean imprinting?
Well, imprinting is really interesting. Imprinting is when you tell yourself something every day, right?
Okay.
It's called autosuggestion. It's called imprinting. But the reason I like the word imprinting, because when I heard of this way in order to achieve your goals, the guy said that if I were to ask you 7 times 7 right now, most people knows it's 49, right?
I'm not most people.
But that's because we imprinted our times tables at 10 years old.
Yeah.
40 years ago, we imprinted our times tables, and somebody can ask you that number and you wouldn't even have to think about it, right? And you would know it. And that's called imprinting. So what happens is if you, every morning, you say, I'm going to make $250,000. I'm going to live in $1 million home. I am going to pay for my child's education. I am going to have my own business. These are all speaking and auto-suggestions or imprinting. And if you believe it, the next step is to see yourself in it.
Yeah, right. I would like to talk about seeing yourself.
Yeah.
It's very important when you set your goals that you create a clear picture of whatever you want to achieve. The secret is create a clear picture in your mind.
Yes.
And when you say a clear picture, for example, let's say you want, let's say a $5 million home like this, okay? And what you have to do, create a clear picture. So I can help you understand the concept. When you think about the house, you have to imagine yourself walking into the house, looking the pictures, which color will be the wall, how it's going to feel to walk on the marble floor, how it's going to be the view. You have to walk in the house. You have to feel the house. You have to smell the house. That is creating a clear picture. I am a specialist in that. I feel my dreams. Sometimes I don't sleep well because I go into my dreams and I walk, I touch, I interact with them. I see myself talking in front of thousands of people. I see myself teaching. I see myself writing books. I see myself traveling all over the world, and suddenly it's happening.
Yes.
But I do see.
Yes.
That is create a clear picture, and that gives you a very interesting power. I like to think this, and I am a big dreamer, and I set a lot of goals and very high goals. I don't dream small anymore. Those days are gone. If I have to dream, it's going to take me the same effort. So I'd rather dream big.
Yes. Yes.
And what I do when I create this clear picture, and when I'm feeling down, when I am having a bad day, when I think it's going to be difficult, what I do, I visit my picture. I do. And that gives me so much strength to keep going. It's very interesting.
Yes, it is. Now, since you share yours, I'll share mine. I am imprinting right now. And what I'm imprinting, and I got this from actually Lisa Nichols from the Mind Valley, because you guys have seen her on, and she had a very powerful visualization exercise.
I have her book. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, she was part of The Secret. She has a very powerful visualization exercise that she runs you through, and I created my own version.
You did?
And my own version is, and I think you guys have seen it on Facebook where I have my Rolls Royce. So I have my black Rolls Royce.
Oh yeah, it was a Mercedes, now it's a Rolls Royce. It's getting better and better.
Right,
See,
exactly. Yeah.
It's my influence, because when we started working together, she wanted a Mercedes.
Mercedes, now my Rolls Royce. Yeah,
You owe me that, honey.
So I'm driving in my black Rolls Royce. I've got the picture of it. I'm feeling myself in it. I drive up to my $1 million mansion, and I punch in the code at the gate, and there's two iron gates open up, and I drive up to my beautiful house that I can see, take my purse out, open, walk up the stairs. Then I'm seeing actually white marble like this.
You
I'm seeing the kitchen.
You better increase that house to 5 million. 1 million is not covering it.
It's true, exactly. And I walk up into the bedroom, and it's, you have to.
I do that too. It's so nice, huh?
You have to, and she's talking about smelling. I'm not quite there yet where I'm smelling the flowers.
But can you feel it?
Yes.
That's very impressive.
Yes.
I do the same. It's very special.
So that's basically what we're talking about here. Anytime you can imagine it, and that's what I started out talking about. In order to set a goal, you have to first imagine it. And if you can't imagine it in your mind, you would never manifest it in the physical. Now, it doesn't always mean that our crazy ass dreams are gonna come true. But we have a better shot of making it happen if we're visualizing it, if we're setting it, if we're working towards it every day. We have a much better shot of realizing it than somebody that's not doing anything.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Yes.
Well, thank you for watching us. We hope you enjoy. And as always, if you have any questions, please send us your question. If you like this video, share with your friends on Facebook, and also sign up to our channel. I'm Coach Dan Willms.
And I'm Coach Myrna Young. And this has been another episode of You Asked For It.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.